Hello, everyone, and welcome to another riveting edition of Under the Floorboards, where we laugh at the creatures that go bump in the night. I am your host, John, joined as always by my beautiful co-host, Eric. How are you this week?
Fabulous.
I
You want
know,
to know why?
because we got another pre-screener, baby.
Shit.
We fucking love pre-screeners, and I have been so fucking stoked for this one.
100%.
This is the latest film, The Well, by Federico Zampaglione,
Very
which is
nice.
like, thank you. I've been practicing.
You're going to do it first because you speak the third best Italian. I don't speak Italian. Like I said, third best.
So directed by Federico, and writing credits also to Federico Zampaglione as well as Stefano Massi, which is super exciting. Federico is kind of made a little bit of a name for himself
In multiple facets, right?
In multiple facets, because he is an incredible renowned musician.
I got a kid to the highway. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave him running. Walking his miles too slow.
Hope she's watching.
So we have Gian Luanghi. It's literally Luigi. That's what I fucked up. Gianluigi Galvani as Tony.
Hell yeah.
Meliani Gatos as Dorca. Claudia Garini as Emma. And a personal favorite on the show, Jonathan Dylan King.
Yo.
Big shout outs to him as
Jay
Marcus. Elizabeth Klein as Guelgi.
It's Guelgi. It's my Guelgi.
Guelia, grown up.
Cosa? Secondo te?
And the final girl of this movie, Miss Lauren Lavera
La Vera.
herself.
Holy shit, the cast list.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm fucking telling you, this movie, there's a reason that I was so excited to watch it. And guys, this is a spoiler-free review.
Yeah.
We're not telling you what happens in this film yet. So
And yet we have so much to talk about. That's what I love about these, is you would think that would inhibit us, but it just doesn't.
Yeah, in fact, it really just makes us more and more stoked to
Right.
talk about it, because I want you guys to be just as excited to see this movie as I was to watch it.
I'm excited to see if fucking YouTube's going to strike us for me vaping on camera or not.
Dude, fuck YouTube. They don't care. And worst case scenario, you know what I would do in petition of that? I would put it free on our
I'm
Patreon.
going to smoke 2 vapes on Patreon. That's the content they want.
So when I reached out to Federico about this, I was absolutely blown away.
Super nice guy.
Yeah, super nice guy. Ciao bene. It was incredible that like he was so receptive to us and like actually really wanted us to see the film and review it. And I was like, honestly, dude, it'd be a fucking honor, because like I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what am I but some little peon that's like just wants to watch your movie. But there was so much that kind of came along with this, and there was so much to be excited for. So we'll get into a little bit of that right now, but first I would like to go ahead and read a little bit of the summary via IMDb for those of you who have not seen or read it yet. And it's: a budding art restorer travels to a small Italian village to bring a medieval painting back to its former glory. Little does she know she is placing her life in danger from an evil curse and monster born of myth and brutal pain.
Whoa.
Yeah, right. So who would do a better job of that than Lauren Lavetta?
Who do we know in the last 2 years? Who do we know in the last 2 years, you reckon, that could do a better job?
And I'm telling you, it's slim. There's a lot of talent out there right now, but Lauren absolutely killed this role. And the one thing that I really want to get into first and foremost is what I love about this movie is the is the art
Take it a panache.
it's the archaeological aspect of this because I mean, Eric, you know this about me and a lot of people do, is I am a huge fan of Indiana Jones, and I got to see Lauren Lavera be Indiana Jones.
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
You know, she comes in with, you know, the coat, and the costume design in this was absolutely amazing.
Right.
And every
very like early 90s.
Yeah, and this was a movie that was incredibly unsettling throughout, which I thought was just such well screenwriting and such great placement of all of these characters. And we kind of have like this, you know, obviously again without getting into spoilers about it, but there's kind of this duality of story that's kind of happening. You know, we're following Lisa, played by Lauren Lavera, who is
Lisa.
Yes, and we're in Samabuchi, correct?
Yeah, Samabuchi.
All of our Bucci gang
we're
out
bringing
there.
that shit back because it's relevant again.
It never stopped being relevant.
No,
Spencer Madison's in the Bucci gang, son.
I still be playing Jigglypuff on Smash, motherfuckers.
But we follow Lisa's character, who is traveling to Samabuchi to, as they say, restore this painting in this beautiful Gothic style
fucking
castle
Hogwarts.
I think it's pronounced Castellet. I'm totally fucking kidding. That's French.
It's just castle with an accent aigu. Avec un accent aigu. Très bien, merci beaucoup.
But this movie had such a balance of brutality.
What struck me, I don't mean to cut you off, but what struck me was the juxtaposition of the beauty of Italy.
Oh,
with the fuck shit that goes on within the walls of this Castello.
Oh, yeah, the castle on the hill.
It's pretty wild because you have this picturesque like natural world of like solace and like respite and things like that, and on the other hand you have all this shit that's going down that we can't really talk about without, you know, spoiling, I guess. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't feel safe, but I like it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Throughout the whole movie, you know what I mean? The charming little like tavern across the street and everything, you know what I mean? They're probably watching like soccer, and you know what I mean?
Naturally.
You know? Yeah.
Which is actually run and owned by Jonathan Dillon King.
Nice.
As Marcus, which I was really excited to see him in this movie. And he did a phenomenal job. Great acting. It's funny because like I've seen like some of his like podcast pseudo style stuff, and you know, he is a person that bounces between Italy and you know, Los Angeles or Rome, I guess, specifically in Los Angeles.
Right.
And it's funny to see all of these actors that can speak other languages and know all of these colloquialisms, and they can actually bounce in between speaking English and not.
Yeah.
And like in an American accent. And it's incredible. So he has a very rich and thick Italiano accent in this movie, and fucking
it's full of starch.
It's full of pasta water.
Got a starchy voice.
Sir, you are just rich.
100%.
But this movie did an amazing job of, in that duality, you know, we're following essentially Lisa's character in the restoration of this painting. While in the meantime, she meets 3 people that are on a bus that are going into a guided tour throughout Sambuchi. And they don't make it to the town. because they wind up around what we call the well.
The crossroads.
The crossroads.
Sold his soul to the devil.
And we have like this, captive situation that is kind of not stagnant, that's not the right word, but is relevant throughout the movie.
100%.
Underneath of everything. And we're watching this story of
story.
Yeah. And we're
layers.
The well has layers. And one of the layers is what is in the well.
Right.
Which is not only something that we discover in the story of the people that surround the well, but the people, or the person, I guess, Lisa, who is uncovering the painting. And what I love about this painting is I'm a big Greco fan, and I love classical style art that tells a story. And the developmental artists that created this did something very similar. And it was like the martyrdom of Saint Francis to me.
Right.
And it was so cool to see.
It's like a Goya.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And it was like, it almost hit like a wizard though, because it was like because
lightning bolt.
Because as each piece of so the reason that this painting needs restoring is there was a fire underneath of it, and the soot, just caked on to the front of it. Now, bear in mind, when Lisa is told by Emma that this painting is on kind of a timer for when it needs to be done, which is already pretty unsettling for the audience.
As fucking possible.
Not as soon as possible. You have a week and a half to do this.
Right. Which to me translated to as soon as possible, based on the layers of the soot that were on this pitch.
And Laura drops a really cool line too in that conversation where she goes, "I'd like to sleep in the room. It kind of helps me become one more with the restoration." And I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to sleep with my work.
Yeah. I bet you do.
I bet you. I do. That's true.
There's a lot of things to this curse. There is a witch that I am very excited for you guys to see. It's a little coven style. There's a lot that feels like it kind of goes into it.
We're in Hag Raven territory.
And like the well has two things ultimately. Like
a top and a bottom.
And I'm not talking about the movie, I'm talking about the location of the actual well.
Right.
There is the monster that guards it, and there is the monster that lies beneath. And they are both absolute creatures of nightmare. Like, I think they replaced my sleep paralysis demons.
I was going to say. You mean the sleep paralysis demon that's hanging over your shoulder right now?
But this movie had everything. It had story, the acting was impeccable, the locations were beautiful. There is a twist at the end that I cannot
It's pretty wild.
I cannot wait for you guys to see. I cannot wait for you guys to see this. There were a couple elements of this movie that reminded me a lot of
I can't wait to hear what it reminds you of. Never made it as a wife. Couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing.
I'm sick aside without a sense of feeling, and this is how you remind me.
Well, it reminded me a lot of Ready or Not, right?
Yeah.
Where you have like this super awesome female protagonist who gets, unbeknownst to her, thrown into like one of the craziest stories of their life. And really kind of battles their way through it. And again, like the acting in this really was kind of impeccable, and like you really couldn't have asked for much more.
I was going to say the thing that this movie really reminded me of was Dorian Gray. I mean, I feel like that's obviously on the nose with like the painting, but just the concept of the more that we reveal, the more that we reveal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it was very Argento in that
Yeah.
aspect too, you know,
Yeah.
where it's like, and I respect a lot
The
of
Suspiria fan in me picked up on your shit there, buddy. Yes.
is picking up the Inferno fan in me.
Well referenced. Well referenced, Mr.
You know, and the cinematography really showed that.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of shots of Lauren Lavera where I could just like feel those doe-eyed Suspiria.
There's a lot of lighting choices that happen.
Yeah.
And a lot of, angular choices that happen and dynamic things that happen with the camera that are very enrapturing in my opinion.
Absolutely. And it was just ultimately it was a fun watch that had amazing story, great acting, great practical effects. Like the gore was on point in this movie.
Does a great job of not giving away all of the information.
Yeah, the makeup effects were fabulous. And obviously, like, we're giant fans of Lauren Lavera on this show. So it was so cool to see all of those elements come together. Like this big guy right here. I don't know if you guys can see him. I would hope so, because this is on YouTube. But it's there, the coloration was crazy, and it feels like a classic horror de Gothica is really what it feels like to me. De Gothica. And, I think Argento would be proud of something like this.
I agree. I think it encapsulates like Italian horror very well too. I mean, what's traditional about that and what's kind of budding in that as well, if that makes any sense. I mean, I feel like these themes are echoing through time, but there's also room for growth and discovery and experimentation. And I think that this film does a really good job of doing all of those things in tandem.
Yeah. And I cannot wait for you people. I cannot wait for you people to see this fucking movie. If you love horror, if you love gore, if you love Lauren Lavera
in Italy,
in Italia, and again, like, I'm a really big fan of Federico Zampaglione. I think he is fantastic, and I'm so excited for this to hit distribution and people to be able to see it. But what you can do for now is get the hype around it. What you can do is get in there and start not leaving reviews. You didn't read it. Start following the pages on Instagram. Start following Federico.
Share the shit. Comment on the shit.
Share the shit. This is what it's all about, is all ships rising with the tide.
Yes.
And that happens with doing this right now.
Yes.
So I love pre-screeners.
Thank you for this one, by the way.
Yeah, big shout outs to Federico. I'm super excited for you to see this. I hope that we did you right, and we're so excited for your next project, and we're excited for this to come out. So
we're excited for Barry to shut the fuck up.
We're excited for Barry to shut the fuck up. Barry,
shut the fuck up. We're in the same room.
Eric, is there anything else you'd like to add to this?
Not at all. Just support it. Love it. I can't wait for y'all to see it.
Let's go for the well. Thank you guys for joining us. We're at Creeks and Cracks. We laugh at the creatures that go bump in the night. Thank you for being on our YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you
hit
comment.
That notification bell. Hit that like button.
Let's fucking go, guys.
Send us money.
And we'll see you next time.